Welcome to The Explainer. We're going to jump right in today because we're talking about a story that's been buried for 80 years. And the craziest part? The people telling it now are the same ones who were sworn to keep it a secret. Okay, let's just rip the Band-Aid off and get straight to the biggest claim from the documentary, the age of disclosure. And this isn't some secondhand rumor. This is coming directly from senior government, military, and intelligence officials. They're saying the US has recovered dozens of crashed, non-human spacecraft. And this isn't new. This program has apparently been running since the 1940s. Now, before you write this off as some fringe theory, listen to this. That quote you see, that's from Senator Marco Rubio, the vice chairman of the Senate Intelligence Committee. He's not just whispering that this might be real. No, he's basically shouting from the rooftops that this is a critical national security issue and that we're in the middle of a super high-stakes tech race. And look, this isn't just one person's wild story. We're talking about 34 different people corroborating these claims. And these aren't just random folks. They're current and former officials from the military, from intelligence agencies, you name it. They're from all different backgrounds, different political leanings, but they are all somehow telling the exact same story. So that leads to the big, obvious question, right? If all of this is true, how in the world has it been kept secret, like the biggest secret on the planet, for over 80 years? Well, the answer, as it so often does, starts with money. And I mean a lot of money. Insiders talk about this secret legacy program, that's their name for it, which is this long-running effort to grab and reverse engineer this tech. They say it's spent over $8 trillion since the 40s. And get this, all of it completely off the books, no oversight from Congress, not even from sitting presidents.
And here's the kicker. The cover-up itself became the reason to keep covering it up. Think about it. If you admit the program exists, you're also admitting to decades of really serious crimes. We're talking lying to Congress, misusing trillions of dollars. These are major felonies. People would go to jail for a very, very long time. So it's not just about keeping a secret anymore. It's about avoiding a massive breakdown of accountability at the highest levels of government.
And this really shows you just how big this whole thing supposedly is. This isn't a couple of guys in a basement. The program is described as this huge, sprawling network. You've got the CIA basically acting as the quarterback, the Air Force is out there doing the field recoveries, the Department of Energy is analyzing and classifying the materials, and then you have the heavy hitters, the big defense contractors like Lockheed Martin and Northrop Grumman, who are trying to figure out how this tech actually works. All right, so why now? After 80 years of total silence, what could possibly be making all these insiders risk everything to come forward? Well, the answer seems to be a new kind of Cold War, one that's happening completely in the shadows.
Yeah, the entire game has changed. What used to be a secret you had to protect at all costs is now a prize you have to win. Some insiders are calling it the atomic race on steroids, and the finish line being the first country to figure out how to reverse engineer and, let's be honest, probably weaponize this incredible non-human technology.
And this is the big fear that's driving all this disclosure. The worry is that while the US program is so tangled up in its own secrecy that it's actually slowing things down, our adversaries, we're talking China, Russia, they are treating this as their #1 national priority. They're going full steam ahead while the US is apparently stuck, handcuffed by its own decades of denial.
So what exactly is this technology? What is this stuff that's so important it could spark a new global race and an 80-year cover-up? Okay, this is where it gets really wild. According to scientists who've supposedly worked on this, like physicist Hal Puthoff, these craft aren't flying through the air or space in the way we think of it. Instead, they're actually warping space-time itself to create a little bubble around them. And inside that bubble, our laws of physics, air resistance, gravity, all of it, they just don't matter anymore. And you know what? This one single idea suddenly makes a lot of weird things make sense. Like, why are UFO photos always so blurry? Well, Puthoff says it's because you're literally trying to take a picture through a distortion in space-time. That's a great analogy, right? It's like trying to get a perfectly sharp photo of a fish when you're standing above the rippling surface of a pond. It's just not going to happen. And the things these craft can supposedly do, I mean, it just breaks physics as we know it. We're talking about vehicles that can move from the sky into the ocean and out into space like it's nothing. They can accelerate to thousands of miles an hour in an instant, with zero inertia, no g-forces. They can hover without making a single sound. And the power source, just wow. They calculated that one of those little Tic Tac craft used enough energy for its maneuvers to power the entire United States for a week. Just think about that.
But it's not just metal and machinery they're supposedly pulling from these crash sites. According to the insiders, the whistleblowers with firsthand knowledge, they're claiming that we've recovered non-human biologics, bodies. And here's the really mind-bending part. They say it's not just one type of being, it's multiple, different species. And some of them are described as looking a lot like those classic, childlike beings from the movie Close Encounters. So all of this brings us right here to today. It feels like we're at a tipping point. The secret is starting to come apart at the seams, and the people who are pushing for disclosure say there's a specific roadmap we need to follow to handle this, without causing total chaos. They've basically laid out a 3-step plan. Step 1, you have to grant amnesty to the people who were part of this legacy program. Step 2, you start a real, honest-to-goodness declassification process. And then, step 3, the big one, the President of the United States has to stand up and tell the world what's going on. Now, let's just hang on that first step for a second, because it really is the biggest roadblock. The very same people who have all the secrets are the ones who broke the law to keep those secrets. So if you don't give them legal protection, if you don't grant them amnesty, why would they ever cooperate? They have absolutely no reason to come forward. You can't get to the truth unless you give them a safe path to tell. And that just leaves us with one last kind of mind-blowing thought. Everything we've just talked about, this is only what these high-level officials feel they can legally say right now. So if this is just the tip of the iceberg, what else is still down there, hidden in the shadows? What other truths, what other technologies are we not hearing about? The race to find out is happening right now, and for whoever wins, the prize isn't just being number one, it's owning the future.